Hi, I'm Peter Rose, founder of Longwood Currency Trading. I want to discuss time management in Forex trading because I think it's not addressed enough in the educational process that the folks are trying to provide out there. And I think it's a critical thing, particularly for day traders. And if you're working a job, I mean, those are all issues that are very difficult to get around if you're trying to get your trading to the point where you're going to try to replace that job income. That's why, I don't teach beginners. I work with people that have at least 6 months to a year of experience, a couple hundred trades, a live account, and normal leverage, so that you've been around the block before and you are aware of the challenges that face us as traders, and that in that aspect you have a problem that you don't know how to solve. And so that's where I come in. I can say, well, if we look at this broad view of the thing, here's a possible couple of solutions for you that, depending on your age, your time availability, or the whether you're academic or you're an athlete or whatever, all those things work together in your personality and your ability to learn things. So it has to be addressed specifically to you so that you can kind of make those little changes as you go through. I do that. That's the purpose of my fast track program. It assumes that you know your way around the trading desk and have an awareness of Forex trading, that you're a day trader, and you have a limited amount of time in order to do that trading. So the course is geared for a couple hours in the morning trading, like if you're getting up and then you're going to do the open of one of the countries in the pair, or maybe you'll split it. Maybe you'll have 4 hours a day. You trade a couple hours in the morning, then you get home at night, a couple hours. But we all have family responsibilities, and you got to eat and all that other stuff. So it's tough trading at night unless you're doing like an Asian session in the U.S. And then you can work at 1 o'clock in the morning or midnight. But again, it's that job situation where getting up earlier in the morning, for most of the folks that I work with, tends to be a better time to trade. And so the fast track course is geared around building a framework of trading and information. Only the information that you need to trade, not the information that you might need in 6 months, but the information that you need to build a solid foundation in your trading, so that you don't have a whole lot of stuff to think about and clutter your mind, so that we've been able to develop really strong rules, conditional based rules. And I've talked about a lot of the structure of that in other videos that I've done. If you go back through my catalog, I try to title my videos to indicate what that video is about, so that we're in this particular instance, in the fast track course, laying a structure out with minimal information, only the really key, critical, what I call nodes of relevant information that you need in order to put your trading plan together, which is there's 3 parts to the trading plan that we work on, so that you can get your trading done in a 2-hour time frame. That's what we're trying to do. 10 pips, 2 hours, 5 pips, 2 hours, 40 pips, 2 hours, whatever it is. But at the end of the 2 hours, or as you're approaching that, you've got to get ready for work or whatever, then you need to start getting out of the trade that you're in. You need to close out. You don't want to do a carry trade with a floating stop until you've got a runner going. A runner is when your price has gone beyond the indicated profit target that you set up for that particular trade during that 2-hour time frame, and it should be achievable within the 2 hours. You don't say, "Oh, I'm going to try to get 40 pips out of this," because that might be a 4-hour wait. I mean, you might have to wait 20 minutes for the thing to finish the setup and to really manifest itself for you to get in. And then, 40 pips is a lot of pips. As a day trader, we're trading on a 5-minute chart. We're using the daily chart, and we're using the 4-hour and all that other stuff in multiple time frame analysis to set the structure of the market during that particular period, so that we understand the trend bias of the market in general, whether there's a counter trend going on in the shorter time frames and all that stuff. It takes you about 15 seconds to do that. I show you how to do that in the course. And it's all rule based. So you're not trying to make stuff up at runtime, because that's really difficult to do. So if you're having problems with your time management, it's probably because the rules that you have, you're confusing somebody's system with conditional-based rules. But your life would be a lot easier. Trust me on this. Your life would be a lot easier if you were able to develop conditional-based rules and forget about the systems and the indicators and all that other stuff, because that just complicates things. I can't stress enough that if you're looking at 3 indicators, even if one of those indicators is taking a look at the fundamental analysis of the thing, that's an indicator. But, you know, the normal ones are Bollinger Bands and Golden Crosses and RSI and all that other kind of stuff. If you just have 3 things that you're looking at, you have 15 different permutations. You can put those 3 things in. Oh, today I'm going to use the RSI and then I'll look at the Bollinger Band. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to look at the Bollinger Band, then the RSI. Oh, I'll look at the Bollinger Band and the RSI at the same time with that. So even with 2 indicators, you have 4 different permutations. If you have 5 indicators, you have 325 different permutations. It's no wonder when I talk with people, they come in, well, I've tried this system and I've done this and I kind of take this from here and I that from there. Well, all of that is adding to the stuff. And each time you add a piece of stuff, that creates an exponential blow in your, or geometric blow up in the number of well, I guess decisions that you need to make. By having conditionally based rules, it eliminates all that stuff. And I've said this many times. I get up in the morning, I can look at the screen and know whether there's a trade there right now and I need to sit down, whether there will be a trade at some point during the day and I'll have to check it every now and then, or whether there's not going to be anything for the day. 2 days ago, I sat down at my computer. I knew exactly there was nothing I'm going to be able to do today, and I didn't trade that day. And I was talking to one of my students, or I was doing a video for him, and I said there wasn't going to be anything that I was going to be interested in for the whole day. So I left the trading platform up, and I'm retired, so I'm at the computer desk all day, so I could still watch the screen. However, the day after that, I got up in the morning and I said, well, there's nothing right now, but there probably will be later. So I got my cup of coffee and had breakfast and all that stuff, came back and sat down at the desk, and it looked like the thing was going to happen, but it took about a half hour for things to resolve themselves and to get into position. So I went in, I got... I got 0.3% gain and got out. I was lucky I did, because price pin barred away from where I was, the direction I was moving in. And I went back in. I grabbed another 2 pips. I lost 5. I made 10. I ended up about, I was up just over 1%. Against my risk for the day. So it took about 20 minutes for that to set up, and then I traded for about another 20 minutes and did, I think, 5 trades or something like that. So that was a result not of any particular skill, but of time management, because everything that I was doing was based on my conditional rules. And those rules, as I've said a gazillion times in my videos, are based on what I call the life cycle of a currency position, which is entry analysis, position management, and exit methodology. I came to that set of rules, wrote them down on a piece of paper back in 2018 after I'd lost a lot of money. You can go back in videos and you can hear my whole story about it. But I was solving the wrong problem. I'm a physicist. I got almost a minor in math. I've done 40 years of real estate, so I know how to solve problems and stuff. And so I stepped back after that big loss. I said, what's going on here? oh, I'm solving the wrong problem. That's the first thing. So from a time management standpoint, I was exponentially crazy because I was solving the wrong problem. So once I figured out what problem I needed to solve, I go, oh, well, I'm a software engineer for 33 years. I understand how to solve complex problems. You got to break them into smaller problems that are easier to solve. And so I said, well, we got entry analysis, position management, and exit methodology. Great. What kind of conditions would I need? Based on all this crap that I've seen happen to me, what do I need to avoid? Not what do I need to do in order to make money, what do I need to do to avoid stuff? And so each rule that I have, there's three phases, right? Entry analysis, position management, exit methodology. There's one rule for each phase, and each rule has 2 to 4 conditions that need to be met in order for some action to be taken. In other words, I have an exit methodology rule that has a couple of conditions. If this condition is true and this condition is true, I'm out. If this condition is true but not that one, I'll stay with it. It's pretty simple, but it's all pre-figured out. And the conditions, you would say, well, that's a static thing. You can't trade with it because the market changes all the time. That's why I say that the rule is condition-based. Because as a software engineer, that's what we do. We build rules to solve the computer problem, and you have parameters that are the conditions, that form the conditions. So you don't change the parameter, you change the input for that parameter. For example, one of those parameters may be a staging condition, which says when I get to a certain point, I'm going to add X number of lots. And the X number of lots is based on a percentage of the total number of lots that I can trade. So although the rule becomes very fluid in, oh, now I have more money, I can add more lots. It's a percentage of the total number of lots. So I don't have to figure anything out. I say, well, I'm working with 10 lots now, so I can put 3 in at this point. Oh, I'm working with 3 lots. Oh, I can only put 1 in at this point. So the condition doesn't change, but the value of the parameter coming in does. If you don't know how to do that, well, that's what I teach in my fast track course, and it's easy to learn, but not if you go to different books and all that stuff, or even watch all of my videos. You probably are not going to be able to develop the condition-based rules the way that they should be. You may very well be able to develop some better rules based on the videos that I've done, and I've got a free PDF file that if you send me an email, I can send that to you, and it has 7 situations that I've run into in my own trading and how I thought about them and how I went about resolving them. It might be of interest to you. Send me an email, ask for the 7 steps document. But in relationship to all of that is the ability to do conditional-based rules. And that's the thrust of that fast track program. If you're interested in learning more about that, again, send me an email. I'd be happy to chat with you about that, because just chatting about it may very well trigger something in your background that goes, well, I know how to do that. I'll just take that experience and I'll map that down into my trading. And that's what I did. I took my software engineering background to change that. There was a break there because Sue just brought Bo in from walking out in the woods. And as you've seen in the background, it's raining. And so there's a lot of interaction. But as I was saying, the time management has to do with having the minimum amount of information that you need in order to solve the problem that you need to solve. So you need to learn, well, what's the problem I got to solve? And how do I go about encapsulating that? In other words, just doing something to solve that problem and not worrying about something else. If I'm trying to change the carburetor on my lawnmower, for example, I'm not really worried about the gear shift fixing that either. I got to focus on the carburetor. So writing your rules for trading is the precursor to having time management for the trading that you need to have. So just think about that as you're working through your trading plan and the rules that you're building for your trading plan. Have time management at the forefront of that so that you don't feel rushed in that 2-hour period of time that you're thinking about using for your time before you have to get ready and go off to work or something like that. I mean, if you'd like a little more help on that or a little more explanation, send me an email and I'd be happy to chat with you about it through email or maybe even do a video conference. No pressure to sell. I'm retired. I don't have a training business that I'm trying to build. I take a few students and work with them because it's me working with the person, not just giving you a PDF file or some online course or having some assistant talk with you. It's me. It's my time, and that's limited. So, but that's how you work. That's what education is about. You need a mentor that's in real time, not over a screen. So. If I can help you in an email or a video conference and get you going, that's great. We don't need to have a course. This fast track course is 6 weeks, so it's a commitment on both our parts. So if I can resolve your issue in an email or get you pointed in a different direction, that worked great for both of us. And then we can just communicate back and forth as friends. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm not trying to sell you a course or anything. I'm trying to help you the best that I can. But you get to a certain point where you're in a cloud because you have too much information or you're using too many indicators, you've listened to too many people in their systems. Unscrambling that is not 25 words or less. We'd have to talk about some type of consulting or something in order to reset, like my last video, so how to reboot your Forex trading. Some process to reset what how you think about the trading and what needs to be done. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day and have a great trading day.